Just heard your director talking about you, Chris Hemsworth. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Congratulations on this role. A role that you wanted and a role that you were right for. Ron was just talking about, you know, what you sent to him and stuff. Why was this a role that intrigued you and you wanted to play?
You know, initially it was the opportunity to work with Ron Howard, which was, you know, I think I'm his biggest fan, and he's one of the best filmmakers there is. And to have a script that, you know, someone that Peter Morgan had written, and everything about it before having read the thing was attractive. But then read it and fell in love with, you know, the genre and the character of James and the 70s and the glamour and thrills of Formula One at that time. And yeah, it was a no-brainer.
It's an incredible story. You couldn't write it, you know, in terms of the fact that it actually happened. How would you describe their relationship?
You know, these guys had obviously a fierce rivalry throughout that 76 season, and I think before and after that at times, but for the most part there was a huge respect between the two of them. I think they both embodied something that the other one needed, and they both brought out something in one another that, you know, they might not have had otherwise. And but the similarity they shared was the absolute honesty to stay true to who you were and say it how it is, and take it or leave it, and not get caught up in the various opinions of, you know, the industry or other people at the time.
I mentioned there's a lot of research goes into the show in terms of you've got James's family around to approach to find out, you know, about the man himself. You've got the physical side of it, the driving, the accent and stuff. A lot of work went in prior to shooting this film, I imagine. There was
a lot of prep, and I think when there's that many things to take care of and resources available, it makes for certainly a more enjoyable experience. You know, the final scene between Daniel and I don't want to give anything away, but it really was a great sort of recap and sum up of what these guys stood for, and it was one of the most enjoyable scenes that I was able to shoot, and was a great reminder to both of us about, you know, what we're about. And James says the line that if you're not having fun, what's the point? And I love that attitude.
And working with Daniel, I mean, you know, there's great rivalry between them as real men, but great chemistry between you guys on screen as well.
Yeah, I think you make the assumption that if you disagree or have some kind of rivalry offset, it'll somehow transcend onto the screen and be a bonus. But it's not. You know, it's a disadvantage. And the fact that Daniel and I got along so well and had a rapport and chemistry was just, you know, allowed us to explore these characters and these scenes, you know, with a whole lot more freedom, and he's a hell of a lot of fun.
What's Ron like to work for?
Ron's the greatest. Ron is the biggest heart, and you know, I've been a fan of his for my whole career and before, and I think there's no one better to have steered this in the right direction.
And just in terms of, you know, an actor, what for you was the biggest challenge of this film?
You know, it's the responsibility of playing someone who existed and especially an icon to someone of this level, and you know, and doing it justice and giving it all the respect that it deserves, and that's an absolute challenge.
Well, listen, it's a pleasure to chat to you, and congratulations, Chris. Thank you so much. Chris Hemsworth, everyone.